gifts, gold.
This Saturday at 7, right here on KREM-2.
There are alternatives to drinking and driving. If you're going out to celebrate the holidays and want to drink, plan ahead. Ask someone in your group to stay sober and be the designated driver. Plan to take a taxi or bus home, or arrange to have a friend pick you up. Limit yourself to 1 drink or less per hour, and wait at least an hour after your last drink before you drive home. Living it up during the holidays doesn't have to mean drinking and driving.
From our family to your family.
Peace and joy this holiday season.
KREM-2 News, live with Mary O'Connell, Tom McArthur, Trudi Strain, and Paul Seebeck.
Good evening, everyone. 3 Spokane police officers have been suspended for taking part in a bachelor party striptease.
2 of the officers have been suspended for allowing a nude woman to cuddle with them, and the other for organizing the event. Spokane City Manager Terry Novak says the officer who organized the party as a bachelor's bash will receive a 3-day suspension. The other 2 officers, who were both on duty at the time, will receive 1-day suspensions. Novak says 21 other officers have been issued letters of reprimand. The striptease party was held at the Police Guild Club, which may lose its liquor license over the incident.
In Seattle, more than 25 people remain in jail tonight. A federal magistrate has ruled they will stay there until they identify themselves. The 25 are demonstrators arrested yesterday. A couple hundred marched several blocks to the federal courthouse. The group, known as Pledge of Resistance, is opposed to the U.S. policy in Central America. They hammered crosses on the front lawns, later blocking the entrance to the courthouse. The 12 women and 13 men refused to sign appearance bonds, promising to show up in court. A spokesman for the group says they will fast until the charges against them are dropped. The federal magistrate says he cannot judge their case if he does not know who they are. All are charged with blocking the entrance to the Seattle federal courthouse.
These are happy days for the Boeing company. This past week, the British government decided to buy more than $1 billion worth of AWACS surveillance planes from Boeing, rather than their own troubled Nimrod system. Yesterday, the Reagan administration announced it would like to buy 50 additional MX missiles and some smaller proposed Midget-Man missiles. Both missile projects could mean work for Boeing's aerospace unit. Boeing is based in Seattle. An environmental impact statement on renovation of Hansford's N reactor is being sought by a national environmental group. The National Resources Defense Council says it has filed a notice of intent to file a suit, a procedure required in certain instances when suing a federal agency. The Energy Department announced last week it will close the N reactor in January for 6 months to correct safety problems detected by a group of independent consultants. The National Resources Defense Council is the same group that forced the Department of Energy to undertake an environmental impact statement on renovation of the Savannah River nuclear plant in South Carolina 3 years ago.
Well, some lucky person could win $6 million tonight. The 3rd largest jackpot in state lotto history is up for grabs. A spokesperson for the game says ticket sales are booming, and local merchants agree here in Spokane.
It starts getting crazy from 4 to 6. That's what humanity is. They just wait the last minute.
No one has won the lotto game since November. Proceeds from the ticket sales benefit various state programs. Meanwhile, on the west side of the state, sales are constant. This store in Vancouver is reportedly the most active spot for lotto sales in the state. All week, people have been feeling lucky and putting down their cash for a coupon ticket. Sales for the week are expected to hit $6.5 million. If one person picks the correct numbers, he or she would win $6 million. We'll know the number within the next half hour, and we'll tell you what that is coming up at 11 o'clock.
We'll look forward to that. Holiday travelers are rubbing elbows in Seattle. We'll show you what we mean when KREM-2 News continues.
We'll also take you on a winter adventure as we continue our series on outdoor sports. We'll be back in a minute.
Let Ziggy take you a step beyond with Tarkett no-wax vinyl flooring. Tarkett vinyl flooring is fit for a king and the working man's pocketbook. Ziggy is knee-deep in beautiful Tarkett flooring, which is going at fantastic prices. Select from Ziggy's elegant patterns, array of colors, and best of all, super savings. Where else can you buy top quality at such low prices? Nowhere, only at Ziggy's. When you think vinyl flooring, think Tarkett, and positively think Ziggy.
7-Eleven's got it. It's new wave, not microwave. Hamburger, cheeseburger, all beef. Hot ham and cheese barbecue too. We've got it good. 4 hot new tastes at a red hot price. Get it hot, get it fast, get it good. And right now you'll get any one of these hot new sandwiches for just 69 cents. Get it?
Got it.
Good. 4 great new hot sandwiches. Fix them like you like them at 7-Eleven.
For some kids, driving in a video game is the same as driving in real life. It's just a game, just for fun, and nobody really gets hurt. Of course, the truth is, young drunk drivers kill more people and are killed more often than any other age group in the nation. Watch a news special called DWI, the deadliest weapon in America.
This Tuesday at 7, brought to you by KREM TV and Holy Family Hospital.
A lot of Spokane travelers stop off at SeeBeck Airport. This year is no exception. If you're stopping there this holiday season, wear your shoulder pads. The crowds are thick as everyone hustles to the next plane. But experts say this is nothing. By the year 2000, it will really be overcrowded. Belle Taylor reports.
The plans include additional gates and ticket counters. But projections are this expansion won't be enough. And what's really needed is a new airport.
Well, certainly a new airport site is one option, but it's not the only option. There are 3 other airports in the region that have the same physical size as far as a runway system that SeeBeck does.
One of those existing airports being looked at is Payne Field in Snohomish County.
But it would require a decision by the local government or port authority who owns and operates the airport to do the implementation of any improvements.
But securing Payne Field won't be easy. In 1979, the county government made a promise not to use the airport for anything other than light aircraft and general aviation. Snohomish County Councilman Bruce Agnew says some people are afraid the county will go back on its promise.
And there are a lot of people that have moved in the area and have made their single most important lifetime investment, that is their home, based on assurances by the county that it would be a limited role for Payne Field.
Agnew says the county could also run into legal hassles if it did. A task force is now looking at the issue. Whatever happens, as the passenger load continues to climb, so will demand. Jets will need some place to land. Belle Taylor, KREM-2 News.
One person in particular doesn't have any problems flying through the air this time of year. That person is, of course, Santa Claus. Our cameras caught Santa out and about last night during one of his pre-Christmas practice flights. This electric Santa Claus is made up of more than 1,000 colored lights. It flies suspended from a helicopter on a wire net frame. This flying Santa is sponsored by Tidyman Supermarkets. It will make 2 more trips this year, tomorrow night and again Christmas Eve. Though on Christmas Eve you may see 2 of these.
2 of these, huh? Okay. Well, if you're ready to move from your winter hibernating spot on the couch onto some winter adventure, hold on.
Reporter Susan Howard joins us now with her weekend special on wintertime fun and tells us we're in for some high-speed snow-throwing thrills.
We sure are. This could be our biggest adventure of all our winter adventures so far, so hold on tight to your armchair and get set to try some snowmobiling. If you're ready for some high-power wintertime fun, snowmobiling is worth a try. These mighty snow munchers will tear through wintertime at top speeds of more than 100 miles an hour, but 20 is plenty fast. It's a high-energy sport that guarantees thrills and freedom from cabin fever.
I really enjoy just coming up here in the scenery. And the machines are a lot of fun. It's like a sport for me to get out and get away from things.
There are groomed trails for snowmobiling, or you can take to the open country. This is not the most peaceful wintertime activity, but these roaring snow sleds can get you into some of the most scenic winter spots around. The key to fun, though, is caution.
Snowmobiling can be very dangerous. If a person isn't paying attention to what is happening around them, if a person tries to hot dog it and doesn't know what they're doing on the machine, a lot of times accidents are caused that way.
The best way to try this sport is with a friend who has a snowmobile and is an experienced driver, or ask around. Some snowmobile clubs will take guests on outings, and some ski areas rent snowmobiles and all the warm clothes you'll need to ride one. Plus, they'll give you the basics on how to ride safely and how to work these machines. That's kind of like driving a motorcycle, or so I was told. There are 2 levers, one to go and one to stop, but it does take a while to get the feel of these machines, and the turns can be a little tricky. Start out slow, and once you master the basics, it can be a lot of fun. Obviously, I never quite mastered the basics, but it is a fun sport to try. Here's what it will cost you to rent some of that excitement. It's not exactly cheap. A snowmobile will cost you $20 an hour or $70 a day. A snowmobile suit and helmet is $10, and both are essential for safety and comfort. And you can rent a guide for $10, and that's a good idea if it's your first time out. Now, those are the prices from Mount Spokane. It's less expensive if you go with a friend or someone who already has a snowmobile.
You mentioned prices. One other thing that struck my interest is that these are fairly powerful vehicles. Do you need a license to drive like you do a car?
You sure do. Driver's license, you have to be 18, you have to leave them a major credit card, and sign a waiver that says you'll be responsible for the machine and for any injuries.
But it's cheap to just ride as a passenger in the back of somebody else's.
You bet, and a lot of fun.
Yes.
I liked you in that black helmet.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Speaking of winter sports, you know, Spokane is a very popular place for a lot of different winter sports. Don Reese reports today on an internationally sanctioned competition.
The sport is dog pulling, born in the icy lands of the north, a pastime for mountain men and miners, now a popular activity everywhere.
On the part of the dog, it takes a lot of heart. I think a lot of it has to do what's inside the dog, that and how it thinks.
Once, just for huskies and their kin, dog pulls now involve all breeds. Even African Basenjis wrapped against the cold are top contenders.
They're very strong dogs for their size.
Is that what
very strong, and they're stubborn. They have a lot of tenacity.
I think the dogs are they're getting to the point now where they're really starting to figure out their techniques, what they've got to do, and what a dog does on snow may be entirely different for wheel pulls.
This year, over 50 pulls are planned across the nation, 3 in Spokane. Top dogs take all the glory and the prizes of kibble. With photographer Dave Marlin, Don Reese, KREM-2 News.
I was having a tough time there.
Sure was.
What a sense of humor.
We may be having a tough time with the weather, I understand.
Exactly. Tell Susan to get back on her snowmobile because it looks like we are in for a little bit more snow. A winter storm watch is in effect, starts in effect tomorrow, and I'll have the details in just a minute.
James Stewart is a desperate man. Thomas Mitchell is heaven sent to help him in the Christmas classic It's a Wonderful Life. Christmas Day at 3 on KREM-2. Heat a room for only pennies a day. No need to turn the furnace up just to heat one cold room. Radiant Art picture heaters will heat an entire room for only pennies a day through the use of radiant heat, just like the sun does. Radiant Art picture heaters come in a variety of styles and sizes, so one is perfect for any room decor. And now there are many brand new designs just in. Safe and economical Radiant Art picture heaters will keep you warm and save you money. See the full line at Radiant Art Showroom, East 7013 Sprague, or at these Auto Rain Sprinkler locations.
I'm Tom McArthur. Christmas is a bustling time of the year, but it's also a time to reflect on special memories of the past year. This Christmas Eve at 11 and on Christmas Day at 5:30, I'll look back at several of the interesting people we've met on my KREM-2 News feature, Neighbors. For example, we'll see a repeat performance of an amazing sword swallower, recall the charm of the wagon maker, and rediscover the beauty of the Appaloosa horse. Join me from Leavenworth, Washington for Neighbors, a holiday special.
There are alternatives to drinking and driving. If you're having a party, offer your guests a choice between alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. Serve high-protein foods. Don't pressure your guests to drink. And provide sober transportation home or a place for guests to spend the night. For more tips about giving responsible parties, call CARTA at 456-2342. Living it up during the holidays doesn't have to mean drinking and driving.
Don't just sit around and waste your time away. Do something for somebody.
With a car and a few hours a week, you can make a difference. Help your frail, older neighbors. Volunteer with Care Cars for Elders. 838-4651.
You might want to get those winter boots out along with your shovel. We may have anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow late tomorrow. I'll tell you about that in a moment, but let's head on outside and look at our current conditions. Fog out there right now with a little bit of light snow. Temperature about 21 degrees. Our winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 30.25 and steady for the time being. Our humidity at 96%. No rain to speak of and about 61/100ths of an inch of snow. And that brings our total to about 6.5 inches. Today's data. Record temperature actually 13 degrees overnight. Normally we're about at 23 degrees. The high today got up to 29 and the normal is about 34, so you can see that we are well below what we should normally have for this time of the year. The low down to -6 set back in 1983. The high of 54 set in 1933, and of course we didn't get anywhere near that. Now there is some snow this afternoon along the Idaho-Montana border. Rather chilly temperatures down into the low 20s throughout much of that area, and a little bit of gusty winds along the southwest area of Montana. Still a problem with snow in the Boise area, and some dense fog goes along with that, unfortunately. Pushing further to the west, mainly low clouds across the central Washington area as we push to western Washington. Also some low clouds there, and we're starting to see some rain from Bellingham all the way down to the Portland area as temperatures there drop back to the mid-40s. Now here's a look at the storm system that's making its way toward western Washington. You can see it's a pretty good sized system, and it will mean rain for much of western Washington, some snow for our area. Excuse me, as we see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, or rather 3 to 5 inches of snow tomorrow with this winter storm watch. So it's a pretty good sized system. We want to keep an eye out for everything east of the Cascades. Now as far as current temperatures go, down to the 20s and 30s across eastern Oregon and southern Idaho, down to the teens and 20s throughout the northern tier section. And I'm going to lose my voice here with my cold, so why don't we take a look at our forecast. There we go. Right now we have mostly cloudy skies with some fog outside. Tonight with a low of 18 degrees. Our winds are light and variable. Tomorrow cloudy skies with about a 40% chance of light snow, and that gets heavier as we push on into the evening. A high tomorrow about 31 degrees and a low of 30. And our extended outlook calls for mostly cloudy skies on Monday, a little bit warmer, with snow ending late in the afternoon. Tuesday, we're looking for partly cloudy skies with a high of 33 degrees and a low of 23. And then on Wednesday, we do pick up another storm system, a high of 34 and a low of 24. So it looks like we're going to be in for some snow late tomorrow afternoon. A winter storm watch is in effect. And I also want to mention that we had planned tonight to do a live weather segment from a home on the South Hill. We couldn't do that because of technical problems, so we'll do that tomorrow night. And maybe I'll be feeling better with this cold. It just gets you right here.
It does. But with the snow, we could plan on it really tomorrow. So if people are traveling or going any place tomorrow, they
should be aware of that, because the system is very slow to start in right now in western Washington, but it is giving them some rain problems tonight. East of the Cascades late tomorrow night and into the evening, it will get a little icy if you're crossing the passes, and we can expect some snow, some heavier snow late tomorrow night, so I want to keep an eye out for that.
We could truly have a white Christmas this year, huh?
You know, it's very possible with the extended outlook. We're looking at another system which moves in on Wednesday night, so it's very likely that we could have some snow Wednesday night and on into Thursday.
Thank you very much. Sure.
Rudolph will be happy.
Yes, and we have someone that's down having a lot of fun with some athletes tonight.
Yes, Paul will bring us up to date on sports when we come back.
Eddie, this is Mrs. Butterworth. Hello, Eddie. I love your syrup. I made 2 syrups, regular and light. Mrs. Butterworth. And they're both delicious
Because they're thick and rich and buttery.
She really talks better than you.
Mrs. Butterworth's is twice as thick as maple syrup, so it pours slower. And it's made with grade A butter. Mrs. Butterworth's, regular and light.
Introducing Folgers Red Brick Bag. It's the freshest idea in coffee.
We got a fresh idea. It's gonna hit you like a brick. We take fresh coffee and do a little trick. Take out all the air, make a solid brick of flavor. Open up to freshness, you're gonna savor. Mountain grown Folgers in Red Brick Bag. It's gonna hit you like a brick.
Folgers Brick Bag, the freshest idea in regular and decaffeinated coffee.
The time, right now. The place, your Mazda dealer. The event, Goodbye 86, with good buys on the incredible 87 RX-7. Winner of 7 straight IMSA GTU championships, and already sticker priced thousands less than Nissan 300ZX. Buy now, while sales tax is still deductible, but hurry, the end is almost here. See your local Mazda dealer for a good buy now. Don't let time run out.
A good meal. Most of us take it for granted. But for millions of Americans, it's something they seldom see. Fortunately, though, Second Harvest will help. Second Harvest is a national network of food banks dedicated to feeding hungry Americans. But it needs your support. So please, contact the Second Harvest member near you. After all, isn't America one place where no one should live in hunger?
We'll check in with Paul Seebeck now. He's down at the Gonzaga gym where there's a lot of basketballs bouncing around tonight.
Some rising stars in the world of basketball, I hear.
Tom and Mary, a great game just finishing women's basketball. Hawaii beating Gonzaga 66-62. Significant because 4 former Spokane High School All-Stars playing for Hawaii. We'll talk with one of them live in a few minutes. But first, the big news, the Seattle Seahawks are still alive for a possible playoff spot. Dare we say Super Bowl bound Seattle? The Seahawks pounded Denver 41-16, and now Seattle has to wait to see if they get in the Super Bowl chase. Merry Christmas from Santa Claus this afternoon in the Kingdom. I tell you, if Santa Claus can get the Seahawks help and get them in the playoffs, I say the Seahawks and the Giants in the Super Bowl. Now, Kurt Warner had an outstanding ball game, 3 touchdowns, first one right here, and the Seahawks had a 10-0 lead in this contest. Seattle had the ball 4 times in the first half, 4 times they scored, 2 Norm Johnson field goals. This one made it 13-3. Denver, though, would rally John Elway. What a great quarterback, very patient. He waits and finally fires to Orson Mobley, who makes a tremendous catch. It was 13-10, Seattle's lead at 3, but this is as close as Denver got. The Seahawks scored just before halftime. Watch Dave Craig hook up with Darrell Turner, who was wide open. It was 20-10 at intermission, and the Seahawk fans, boy, they loved it this afternoon. Second half, Craig found Turner again here in the third quarter to make it 27-10, and the Seahawks were on a roll, as they say, in the fourth quarter. Kurt Warner sealed the door on the Broncos' fate. Warner with the touchdown to make it 34-16. And watch this, the Seahawks do a little headbutting. And then Warner, his final touchdown from 61 yards. This is vintage Kurt Warner as the Seahawks beat the Denver Broncos. The final was 41-16, one of the hottest teams in the National Football League right now, but they still have to wait to see if they get into the playoffs. They get in if New England and either Kansas City or Cincinnati lose. The Patriots play the Dolphins Monday night, Kansas City at Pittsburgh tomorrow, and Cincinnati plays the Jets also tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the NFL, one other game today, the New York Giants assured themselves of the home field playoff advantage. They'll play the Seahawks in the Super Bowl if the Seahawks get in the playoffs. Block punt made 21 points in the first quarter for the Giants, but it got interesting in the third quarter. Randy Wright threw a 15-yard TD pass to Ken Davis to cut the lead to 31-24, but the Giants countered. Sims hit Zeke Mowat, my favorite name, Zeke Budding, 22-yard touchdown, made it 38-24 in the fourth quarter. Lee Rusin ran 21 yards for his second touchdown of the game, joining Bavaro with a pair of touchdowns for the Giants, and I'm not going to touch this. Hey, Tom, how about that? Back at the studio. And then, of course, another field goal, 55-24, and Bill Parsons got the Gatorade showers, compliments of Rick Carson. Now to basketball, the Washington State Cougars are 2-0 in Pac-10 conference play. They beat UCLA last night, and this afternoon another impressive performance, especially in the second half, as the Cougs beat USC 70-60. Former Washington State head basketball coach George Raveling, I think you saw him there for a second back in Pullman. Joe Wallace, Wright with the stuff right here, a 4-point Cougar lead early, and then Joe Wallace from the moon. He hit 4 3-pointers in the first half. Washington State had an 11-point lead, but Lynn Stevens' crew would give it up in the first first half. Derek Dowell, 20 of his 26 for the Trojans. USC on top by 1 at halftime. The Cougars, though, regained the lead for good here early in the second half. Gwinnett found Dwayne Skolton to make it 38-35. USC did get one tie in the second half on this inbounds play as Verbetic scores to make it 40-40. But the Cougars score the next 6 points in this basketball game. This is Wallace. There's the bucket right there to make it 46 as Gwinnett scored. And then Wallace gets the jam right here. Former mentor George Raveling beaten by Lynn Stevens. He had good words to say about Lenny afterwards.
I'll always be grateful for what Washington State did for me and the patience that they took. And I think that maybe people need to race back to that as they view Lenny's initial 3 years at Washington State in the start of his fourth, because if they go back, they should remember that Raveling didn't start off setting the world on fire, but because of their patience, we were able to elevate that program to a level of excellence that it hadn't previously enjoyed. And I think that if they'll show that same unusual patience with Lynn Stevens, I think it will result in the same type of rewards.
That was before the Raveling, of course, at the airport. It wasn't after the game. It was yesterday at the airport when he had those words to say about Stevens. Perhaps prophetic as Washington State is 2-0 in Pac-10 Conference play. Tonight, Portland is at Idaho. The Vandals looking for the 7th win. Eastern Washington here at Gonzaga. Highlights of the games at 11 and CCOS at Wenatchee. One top 20 game. Number 4 North Carolina blew open a close game in the second half. This is Illinois with a bucket right here as it was 35-33 at halftime for Illinois. But North Carolina rallied. Joe Wolf would give Carolina a 52-50 lead with the feed there, and then Carolina slowly built their lead. Here's Reed, a steal, and the fast break slammed it home for a 67-61 lead. Smith, who was the player of the game, lost the ball and then got it back. And watch what happens. This is great composure right here as Smith nails the three-pointer and Carolina wins 90-77. And now to women's basketball. Hawaii beating Gonzaga just a few minutes ago, 66-62. And Tina Morrison, the former Central Valley standout, one of 4 ex-Spokane stars playing for Hawaii. And first of all, Tina, nice tan. It must be fun over there in Hawaii.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice. We don't have much beach time though with basketball, so this is pretty much just walking around outside.
Has there been a tough adjustment to be that far away from home playing basketball over there?
There's been a little adjustment, just as far. I think mostly it's such a different culture. But as far as basketball-wise, we're in a really tough conference, and that's, you kind of have to adjust to, that type of playing. PC2A is really tough, but it's been all right for everybody.
How has the adjustment been made easier by the fact that the other Spokane kids were there?
It's helped a lot because we're really close. We're all good friends, and if you have a problem, call them up, go over and see them.
Basketball-wise, a lot of success. Hawaii, what, are you still unbeaten?
Yeah, we're 5-0 right now. Hopefully 6-0 by the time we go home.
What does this mean to be able to play here in Spokane?
It's great. I love it. It's nice coming back, so far away. We don't get, most people around here at school get to go home, see their parents all the time, but here we are.
Life is really tough. You must miss the States. Back from Hawaii, Tina Morrison. We'll talk more with them and have a complete report on the 4 and their success at Hawaii next week. Tom and Mary, we'll go back to you.
I don't think we've seen anybody in tan in, a couple months now?
It's been a long time.
Thanks, Paul. We'll talk to you at 11.
I hope you're not talking to me because I didn't hear anything you said, so we'll just we'll go back. See you later.
All right, bye-bye.
In other news tonight, Christmas is just 5 days away, but for some needy families, the holidays will come and go without fanfare, gifts, or even a special meal. The need for help has nearly doubled this year because so many people are out of work in our area or just barely getting by. Now, reporter Susan Howard tells us it's not too late to help out.
By now, you've probably finished decorating for the holidays, and you may even be a little tired of crowded stores and the commercialism of Christmas. But if you have any giving left, there are sure a lot of people in Spokane who could use the help. Here's how. The Salvation Army has needy families who are still hoping to be adopted for the holidays. Sponsors provide food, gifts, and toys, and literally make Christmas happen for these folks. Donations of winter clothes and canned food are also needed. The Union Gospel Mission needs turkeys for their Christmas dinner for the homeless and for other meals during the year. The House of Charity, which provides emergency winter sleeping facilities, needs towels and winter clothing for the men, plus coffee and anything else they might serve during their daily meal. The food bank is helping a record 11,000 people a month and needs canned meat, fruit, and vegetables. So does Ogden Hall for Women. They'd also welcome paper products and frozen turkey and hamburger. Toys for Tots is still falling short of its goal of a toy for every needy child. 100,000 toys are needed by December 23rd. So far, only 30,000 have come in. It's not too late to make Christmas wishes come true for these charity groups and many others. The gifts they receive now will help a lot of low-income people through the year. With photographer Brad Booker, Susan Howard, KREM-2 News.
And we'll be back at 11 with the latest news.
We'll see you then. Good night.
Good night.
KREM-2 News, live with Mary O'Connell, Tom McArthur, Trudi Strain, and Paul Seebeck.
Good evening. 2 people are in the hospital and at least 10 cars are damaged after a driver tried to make his way through a congested street near the Kingdome today.
The crowd was leaving the Kingdome after the Seahawks-Broncos football game.
Police say the accident occurred when the suspect tried to drive his car between 2 lanes of stalled traffic just east of the Kingdome along 6th Avenue. The driver, identified only as a man from nearby Kent, has been booked on suspicion of vehicular assault charges. Those injured are doing fine.
3 Spokane police officers will be out of work for a day or so. Spokane city officials have suspended the officers for taking part in a bachelor party striptease while on duty. 2 of the men are being disciplined for cuddling with a nude woman, the 3rd for organizing the event. The striptease party was held at the Police Guild Club. The club could lose its liquor license over this party that was held last March.
A fatal hunting accident has left 1 Grandview, Idaho man dead tonight. 3 men were hunting for geese in southern Idaho when Tad Bush was hit in the neck with a blast from a shotgun. He died at the scene. The trio was hunting near the CJ Strike Dam. The Sheriff's Department is calling it an accidental shooting. No charges have been filed.
It's going to be a sad Christmas for some folks. The need for help by many area families has nearly doubled since last year. Some people are barely able to get by. Reporter Susan Howard tells us it's not too late to help.
By now you've probably finished decorating for the holidays, and you may even be a little tired of crowded stores and the commercialism of Christmas. But if you have any giving left, there are sure a lot of people in Spokane who could use the help. Here's how. The Salvation Army has needy families who are still hoping to be adopted for the holidays. Sponsors provide food, gifts, and toys, and literally make Christmas happen for these folks. Donations of winter clothes and canned food are also needed. The Union Gospel Mission needs turkeys for their Christmas dinner for the homeless and for other meals during the year. The House of Charity, which provides emergency winter sleeping facilities, needs towels and winter clothing for the men, plus coffee and anything else they might serve during their daily meal. The food bank is helping a record 11,000 people a month and needs canned meat, fruit, and vegetables. So does Ogden Hall for Women. They'd also welcome paper products and frozen turkey and hamburger. Toys for Tots is still falling short of its goal of a toy for every needy child. 100,000 toys are needed by December 23rd. So far, only 30,000 have come in. It's not too late to make Christmas wishes come true for these charity groups and many others. The gifts they receive now will help a lot of low-income people through the year. With photographer Brad Booker, Susan Howard, KREM-2 News.
There's more opposition to Hanford tonight. A national environmental group is demanding an environmental impact statement on renovation of Hanford's N reactor. The National Resources Defense Council says it will go through legal hoops if the U.S. Energy Department doesn't agree to a statement by January 30th. The council carries some clout. Some see this as one more effort to shut down Hanford's N reactor permanently. The Energy Department announced last week it will close the reactor in January for 6 months to correct safety problems.
Things are good and just keep getting better for the Seattle-based Boeing company. This past week brought 2 major announcements of good news for the aerospace giant. The British government has decided to buy more than $1 billion worth of AWACS surveillance planes from Boeing, passing over Britain's own troubled Nimrod system. The Reagan administration has announced it would like to buy both 50 additional MX missiles and some of the smaller proposed Midget Man missiles. There is a saying, as Boeing goes, so goes Seattle.
Well, still no word if there's a winner in tonight's lottery jackpot. Earlier today, people were buying tickets by the dozens, hoping to be the winner of the $6 million jackpot. Ticket sales were tremendous. Officials say the sales probably added up to the jackpot figure. There were so many tickets sold, it's taking more time to figure out if someone picked the winning numbers. Those numbers are 7, 23, 26, 28, 33, and 41. We'll see.
Same numbers you picked, right?
That's right, huh?
Still to come on KREM-2 News, Trudi tells us a storm is moving in. She'll tell us when.
And here's another look at the winning lottery numbers.
Christmas comes but once a year. At the sound of the sleigh bells, a time for friends and much good cheer.
Take it, Tom.
A time to laugh and make a toast
Happy Hanukkah.
to all the folks we love the most.
Hello, thank you, how nice.
And so, from the Hollywood squares to you, have the best Christmas yet and the safest one, too.
Weeknights at 7:30 right here on KREM-2.
Up until now, the only way to measure eye drops was drop by drop, drop by drop. But now, there's another way. Introducing OcuClear, a new measure of relief. Every drop relieves your eyes hours longer, 3 times longer than even Visine. Compared to new OcuClear, the other guys just don't measure up. New OcuClear, the longest lasting relief your eyes can get.
Christmas gifts are signs of caring. Besides friends and relatives, many other people need our care. Catholic Charities cares for the hungry, the homeless, the elderly, and handicapped. This year, as a sign that you care, put Catholic Charities on your Christmas list.
You've heard them all.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before? What's your sign?
Where have you been all my life?
Haven't we met somewhere before?
You look familiar. What's your name?
Well, let's just say you haven't heard them all.
I hope to take you to the habitat of the wild bachelor.
Well, I've got this little tiny diamond ring and it's just burning a hole in my pocket.
The best line? It may be yet to come on the all-new dating game. Weekdays at 3 on KREM-2.
In national news tonight, all of the 13 OPEC nations except one agreed today to cut production during the first half of 1987.
The agreement comes in an effort to boost slumping oil prices. Iraq was the only OPEC member refusing to cut production by 7.2%. The accord was reached early this morning after a night-long session that capped 10 days of meetings. The reduction will begin January 1st and will remain in effect for 6 months. The move is expected to boost oil prices from current levels of $14 to $16 a barrel up to $18 a barrel. It took 6 years, but tonight the stepchildren of Soviet dissident Andrei Sakharov have had the telephone conversation they prayed they would someday have. Sakharov called his stepdaughter and other family members today. They got the call in their Newton, Massachusetts home. Sakharov spoke from his apartment in the Soviet city of Gorky, where he has been in internal exile. The Russian government is allowing Sakharov and his wife Elena Bonner to return to their Moscow apartment next week.
The Washington Post is reporting that fired National Security Council aide Oliver North went on a special mission to Lebanon to help American hostages. North, accompanied by retired Air Force Major General Richard Secord, reportedly went to Beirut back in October to try and win the release of American hostages held by Muslim extremists. Unidentified State Department sources say North went by the code name Mr. Good and worked with a mysterious Iranian contact codenamed Doctor. North refuses to comment. The experimental aircraft Voyager is zipping over the mid-Atlantic heading home tonight. The plane is on a history-making around-the-world trip without refueling. More than half of the journey is now completed, and Voyager should be back on the ground by Christmas Eve. Earlier today, there was a close call for the tiny plane. The engine oil pressure gauge dropped, and Mission Control in California feared the plane might have to land in Brazil. But the two pilots took some quick remedial action, and the engine was fixed.
This is one of the biggest weekends of the year for the nation's airports. If you're stopping at or traveling through Seebeck Airport in Seattle this weekend, you might want to consider wearing shoulder pads. While the holiday crowds are large at Seebeck, experts say we haven't seen anything yet, as Belle Taylor reports.
12 million people pass through Seebeck Airport every year. By the year 2000, that number will double. Expansion plans at the north end of the airport are already underway. The plans include additional gates and ticket counters. But projections are this expansion won't be enough, and what's really needed is a new airport.
Well, certainly a new airport site is one option, but it's not the only option. There are 3 other airports in the region that have the same physical size as far as a runway system that Seebeck does.
One of those existing airports being looked at is Payne Field in Snohomish County.
But it would require a decision by the local government or port authority who owns and operates the airport to do the implementation of any improvements.
But securing Payne Field won't be easy. In 1979, the county government made a promise not to use the airport for anything other than light aircraft and general aviation. Snohomish County Councilman Bruce Agnew says some people are afraid the county will go back on its promise.
And there are a lot of people that have moved in the area and have made their single most important lifetime investment, that is their home, based on assurances by the county that it would be a limited role for Payne Field.
Agnew says the county could also run into legal hassles if it did. A task force is now looking at the issue. Whatever happens, as the passenger load continues to climb, so will demand. Jets will need some place to land. Belle Taylor, KREM-2 News.
Well, Christmas came to life on Spokane's South Hill tonight as a live nativity scene was acted out by members of the Lincoln Heights Congregational Church. They braved the chilly evening weather for 4 hours, all to give passerbys a treat in an image of the first Christmas. As shepherds watched and wise men held gifts, Christmas music played in the background. Live sheep were one of the biggest attractions for the little ones, but they were also plenty curious about the people standing in costume. Those involved in this live nativity scene say they do this every year to demonstrate the true meaning of Christmas, which they say is giving, loving, and sharing. They shared this heartwarming scene and in return asked onlookers to give donations to the food bank to help the less fortunate during the holidays. And if you're traveling during the holidays, you'll want to watch out for the weather. Trudi, you have the latest.
You bet. Certainly those shepherds are going to need probably some snowshoes and mittens if they keep this up, because it looks like we have a storm track on the way in, and I'll be back to tell you all about it in just a minute.
This is the family court that makes a difference.
If I choose my mom, my dad would feel real bad.
Well, then I guess I'm going to have to choose for you, huh? Judge Robert J. Franklin takes a compassionate stand on the problems that hit home.
I'm her mother. I'm responsible for her.
He's the one who lays down the law.
I protect the law and the people who abide by it.
Witness the human drama of families in conflict on The Judge.
Weekdays at noon on KREM-2.
Jim was only 30 when we found out he had terminal cancer. More than anything, he wanted to live at home as long as he could, to be with me and the children. Hospice of Spokane helped make that possible by giving us medical and emotional support. They listened, explained, and cared. The kids and I miss Jim and will always be thankful to Hospice for giving us a few more precious memories. If you'd like more information on Hospice, call them at 624-0840.
For some kids, driving in a video game is the same as driving in real life. It's just a game, just for fun, and nobody really gets hurt. Of course, the truth is, young drunk drivers kill more people and are killed more often than any other age group in the nation. Watch a news special called DWI, the deadliest weapon in America.
This Tuesday at 7, brought to you by KREM TV and Holy Family Hospital. Spokane cooks, and so will you with this unique selection of recipes from some of the area's favorite restaurants. Call 325-6123 for your copy of Spokane Cooks.
Well, it looks like there may be more than 4 inches of snow possible within the next 24 hours. We already have 4 inches of snow on the ground, and there's more to come. Let's head on outside, take a look at our current conditions. First of all, foggy conditions out there right now with a temperature of 17 degrees. Our winds are calm at the moment with a barometric pressure of 30.25. Our humidity at 96% and no rain to speak of, but just a trace of snow for the day. And taking a look at the day's high and low, 13 degrees. The low rather chilly with the normal of 23, the high up to 29 today. We're normally at 34 degrees. Our record low set back in 1983 of -6 degrees. The high of 54 set in 1933. And here's how things look around the region this afternoon. You'll have to pardon my cold because I barely have a voice this evening. All of you out there who have colds can probably sympathize with my condition. Western Montana at this point clearing off this afternoon with a temperature of 34 degrees in Thompson Falls, 25 in Missoula with snow showers in that area. But as I mentioned, clearing off for another storm track that's beginning to move on into western Washington. 45 degrees you can see up there in Victoria, mainly in the mid-40s across the Puget Sound area. In central Washington down to the mid-30s, and at this point more clouds on the way. Here's a look at that storm track from the Gulf of Alaska. You can see western Washington just beginning to get some of that tonight, and that means some rain showers for that area. Now we're seeing in eastern Washington some very dense fog. Central Washington just a little bit clearing, but it will mean for tomorrow that western Washington can expect anywhere from a couple of inches of rain on upward. East of the Cascades, though, there is a winter storm watch in effect. Now what that means is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of snow is possible for our area, so be aware of that. And that system, as I said, should probably come in late tomorrow afternoon, probably tomorrow night, and we're looking at storm watch for Idaho as well on into Monday. And here's how things looked around the rest of the nation this afternoon. You can see temperatures a little bit cooler than normal in the southwest this afternoon. Cloudy skies prevailed across the Chicago area and right to the New England states. A few snow flurries in western New York and Pennsylvania tonight. But other than that, today was a really clear day across most of the southeast, with the exception of just a few rain showers right across the southern tip of Florida. And if you wanted to find summer-like conditions, you could do it in Miami this afternoon. They had a high of 86 degrees. Other than that, just a few snow showers right across the northern tip of Arizona, and heavier rain showers down in the southern tip. Now we take a look at our forecast, and we are expecting snow showers over the next 24 hours. Tonight, though, just for the few hours ahead, cloudy skies and foggy conditions will continue with a low, very chilly 13 degrees. Tomorrow, a 40% chance of snow, and that will increase as we push on into the day with a high of 31 degrees and a low of 30, so we're going to stay right in there in the low 30s. Our winds will pick up out of the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour, and then on Monday, we can look for that to decrease. Decreasing snow chance on Monday afternoon. Tuesday, we halt all snow for a little while, and then on Wednesday, another storm track comes in and we pick up those snow showers once again. Maybe by then I will be over my cold and I'll be able to talk to you.
You need some hot tea or something.
I know. Mom, get the chicken soup.
But if people are traveling, they need to be careful with the roads.
Please be careful. Give yourself plenty of time if you're heading somewhere. Those conditions can be a lot worse than they look.
Okay, thank you so much, Trudy.
Thanks, Trudy. It wasn't that long ago when we mentioned Seahawks, we mentioned losers in the same breath. You can't do that anymore.
They turned it around, didn't they? 5 weeks ago, they were 5-6, and they won their last 5 and a chance to make the playoffs. Probably the best team in the AFC West in the AFC period. We'll tell you about the Seahawks. Have the sports when we come back.
Christmas comes but once a year. At the sound of the sleigh bells, a time for friends and much good cheer.
Take it, Tom.
A time to laugh and make a toast
Happy Hanukkah.
to all the folks we love the most.
Hello, thank you, how nice.
And so, from the Hollywood squares to you, have the best Christmas yet and the safest one, too.
Weeknights at 7:30 right here on KREM-2.
There are fleeting moments in our lives we wish could last forever. Then, there are moments and incidents we wish had never happened at all. Don't drink and drive. The result could change your life forever.
Enter a world of excitement where comes to life, where the stakes are high and secrets fly. For your entertainment tonight, enter a world of excitement. Enter the world of entertainment.
That's it. I'm history. End of the road.
You can't quit, Vince. No crash dummy takes out a utility pole like you do.
Larry, for years I've been proving how safety belts save lives, but nobody's listening.
Sure they are.
Yeah, that's why thousands die in car accidents every year. I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall.
Come on, Vince. Tomorrow's the big day. 2 compacts. Head on.
High speed?
Could save a life.
No, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
The Seattle Seahawks keep their playoff hopes alive this afternoon by pounding AFC West champion Denver. Now Seattle must wait and hope that New England, Cincinnati, and Kansas City lose. If 2 of those teams lose, the Seahawks are in. If 2 win, it's over. And the Seahawks, maybe the best team in the AFC, might be forced to watch from the sidelines. Merry Christmas, says Santa Claus. They need help from Santa Claus again to get in the playoffs. Kurt Warner had 3 touchdowns in the ball game. His first one right here as Seattle had a 10-0 lead in the contest. The Seahawks had the football 4 times in the first half. 4 times they scored. This Norm Johnson field goal made it 13-3. Denver, though, would rally. The closest they got on this play here, John Elway. Marvelous patience. He waits and fires and finds Orson Mobley, who makes a superb catch. It was 13-10, but the Seahawks turned the tide just before intermission. 22 seconds left, and Dave Craig finds Darrell Turner, the first of 2 for this combo. Wide open was DT. It was 20-10 at intermission. And in the second half, in the third quarter, Craig found DT again right here, made it 27-10. The Seahawks, Kurt Warner was just outstanding this afternoon. 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. His last one here of 61 yards as the Seahawks pound Denver by a final again of 41-16. The New York Giants assured themselves of a home field advantage throughout the playoffs, beat Green Bay. This is a touchdown by Tom Flynn. Blocks the punt and runs it in. 3 TDs in the first quarter for the Giants. The Packers, though, make it interesting in the third quarter. Randy Wright, a 15-yard TD to Ken Davis. Cut it to 31-24, but the Giants counter as Phil Simms hits Zeke. That's right, Zeke Mowat with a 22-yard score, made it 38-24. The Packers fall to the amazing Giants, 55-24, and Bill Parcells, the head coach, gets the Gatorade shower. Compliments of Harry Carson. Basketball now, the Washington State Cougars move to a surprising 2-0 impacting conference play. The Cougs beat USC and former WSU coach George Raveling this afternoon by 10. Cougars have got off to a quick start. Brian Wright gets the steal right here and scores, made it 17-13. And Joe Wallace hit 4 3-pointers in the first half, this one from the moon. An 11-point Washington State lead at 30-19. Derek Dowell, though, of Washington State, as Lynn Stevens' crew blew an 11-point lead in the first half. 20 of his 26. USC on top by 1 at intermission. The Cougars regain the lead for good here, though. Dwayne Skolton with 14 points. Nice pass from Brian Quinnett. And Quinnett got 16 points for the Washington State Cougars. Wallace with a fine feed to Brian. USC did tie the contest at 40-40, but Joe Wallace won on a key run, had 9 points in a key stretch, 23 in the ball game. Lynn Stevens beats his former mentor, George Raveling, in Pullman. Meanwhile, tonight, the Gonzaga Bulldogs beat Eastern Washington University by a final of 87-58. Jim McPhee there leading the way with 20. Roger Bach inside had 17 points for the Bulldogs, who pretty much led from start to finish, had a 12-point halftime lead against the Eagles. Nate Perkins had 13 points for Eastern Washington University, but the Bulldogs blew it open after intermission. This is Dale Holland with the 10 points inside. Gonzaga with 5 men in double figures. Lenny Parham also had 10 points. The Bulldogs win again 87-56, 58 make that. Idaho wins its 7th against 1 loss, beating Portland 69-68. The Pilots had a chance to win it at the buzzer, but couldn't get it to fall. Other area basketball scores: men's score CCOS over Wenatchee 92-84. Women's basketball this afternoon, Hawaii beat Gonzaga University by 4. Judy Mosley leading the way for the Rainbows with 17 points. Gonzaga University actually led in this contest in the first half. Carla Kerfman 14 points and gets this one to roll. Nice touch right there. Homecoming for 4 former Spokane High stars: Melissa Barker of Ferris to Tina Morrison of Central Valley. Tammy Tipples had 22 points for Gonzaga University, but the Bulldogs fall by the final again 66-62. Other women's scores: Idaho over Whitworth 59-44. High school girls basketball scores: Meade beat Central Valley 50-45, and Lewis and Clark beat Rogers 59-44. Boys scores, the ones we have tonight: West Valley over Sandpoint, Pullman in a close one against Lewiston, and Timberline of Idaho beat Colton by 8. In college basketball, a couple of near upsets tonight. Number 1, UNLV survives a scare against Louisiana Tech. And number 4, North Carolina rallies to beat number 5, Illinois. Illinois had a lead in the first half of 2. This shot by Lowell Hamilton made it 35-33. But watch this. This is Reed on the steal, and the fast break slams it home as Carolina built a 67-61 lead. Kenny Smith, the player of the game, lost it right here. Great composure, regains, and pops it for 3 points. North Carolina 90, Illinois 77. Basketball scores: number 1, UNLV just over 79-75. They win. Purdue over Tampa. Iowa beat Iowa State, the school that Jim Walden went to. Oklahoma over Colorado State. Indiana beat Morehead State, and Syracuse over Fairfield. NBA tonight, Dallas beat the Lakers. LA playing without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Tarpley, look at this, gets the steal and the score, and ejected was Pat Riley from the game because he thought there was a foul. And also, Boston lost to Milwaukee tonight. Second straight loss for the Celtics. Terry Cummings here, 120-100 was the final. Other NBA scores from tonight: Chicago falls to Utah. Michael Jordan only 20-some points. Denver beat Golden State. Sacramento over Phoenix. Washington beat the Clippers. Detroit over Philadelphia. San Antonio beat Atlanta. And Indiana over the New York Knicks. To hockey now, the Spokane Chiefs break open a 2-2 tie in the second period against Seattle tonight and roll to an 8-3 win over the Thunderbirds. Here we go, second period, game even. Mick Vakota from Brent Gilchrist to score right here at the 6:50 mark to make it 3-2. Sean Krakowski also in on the play, the newest member of the Spokane Chiefs. Then Mitch Cornett scores right here from Brent Gilchrist, and Mike Berger made it 4-2. Third period now, Kevin Ekdahl scores from Mike Haas and Rob Friesen with 4 points, 3 assists. Ekdahl scores, made it 5-2. And Greg Delcourt scores right here as Tony Horacek and his brother Grant feed Greg, made it 6-2. John Colvin, marvelous performance tonight in the net, 28 saves. Spokane beats Seattle 8-3. Same two teams play tomorrow night over on the west side of the state. Edmonton and Los Angeles, 8-8 tie tonight. Wayne Gretzky's second goal of the game right there, made it 6-4 in the second. Gretzky then fed Jari Kurri. A shorthanded score made it 7-4, but the Oilers blew an 8-4 lead in the third period. The Kings got 4. Bernie Nichols at the 34-second mark. That's how it ended, 8-8. The Flames beat Vancouver by the final of 5-3 as we take a look at this action here. Power play score right here by Joey Mullen for Calgary. It was 3-0 in the first period. Vancouver tried to rally. Steve Tambellini fires, and there to knock it home is Jim Sandkiller. It was 3-1 at this point. Third period, Mike Ballard. Great move right here to make it 4-1. Calgary wins the final again 5-3. Other NHL scores: Quebec beat Minnesota. Washington over St. Louis. Chicago beat Boston. Hartford and Detroit a 2-2 tie. Montreal over Jersey. Toronto beat Buffalo in overtime. Philadelphia beat Pittsburgh. And the Islanders beat the Rangers. And a quiz tomorrow at 6:30 on all the scores.
Take an educated guess for me. How far are the Seahawks going to go?
Super Bowl if they get in.
You think so?
If they get in, yeah, I do. I think the Seahawks, and then remember, I was the one that said they were finished at 5-6 and the worst team in the league, and trade them for New Orleans and get rid of them. But now they're on a roll, and they've won, what, 5 in a row? They're the best team in the AFC. The Giants, the best in the NFC. They'll go to the Super Bowl if those two of those 3 teams lose. If 2 of the 3 win, sorry, it's over.
Place your bets on the Seahawks tonight. Thanks, Paul.
Last word in weather, Trudy?
Winter storm watch in effect tomorrow morning. We want to keep an eye out for that. Anywhere from 4 to 6 inches possible by tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks a lot. That is KREM-2 News for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night. Good night.